Hey, what is up, you guys, and welcome back to the 423. I've seen this story going around online for a few days now and thought about covering it before, but now it's just absolutely everywhere, so I thought I'd tell you guys about it in case it hasn't come across your radar because it's absolutely insane. Let me introduce you to an influencer, and I use that word lightly, by the name of Ari. She's 18 years old and has a whopping 2.6 million followers on Instagram, and she got famous off of making videos on Musical.ly. A few weeks back, Ari decided to launch a clothing brand to sell to those seemingly loyal followers, but that launch ended up being a huge wake-up call for her, which led to the post that's now circulating online. Only a few posts after the launch of her brand, Era, she posted a photo of her wearing the merch with a long caption explaining why those who did order from the line would instead be receiving refunds. She admits in her caption that the manufacturer she's working with required a minimum of 36 pieces be sold in order to make the products, and unfortunately for Ari, she didn't meet that number. She wrote, "Unfortunately, the company that I'm working with goes based on your first drop sales. In order for them to make my products, even to keep working with them, I have to sell at least 36 pieces. Knowing I've become super irrelevant, I already knew it was going to be hard, but I was getting such good feedback that people loved it and were going to buy it. No one has kept their word, so now the company won't be able to send out the orders to people who actually bought it, and it breaks my heart." And this post is why everyone who has seen this situation is so shocked, because an influencer with millions of followers couldn't sell 36 shirts. If even 1% of those followers bought something, an extremely low estimate for someone with an actual following, Ari would have been able to move at least 20,000 units. So the fact that she couldn't even get 1% of 1% is extremely alarming. What's an even bigger slap in the face here is the fact that this girl got 35,000 likes on a post about how she couldn't sell 40 shirts. Buying followers is really nothing new, but the reason this situation is surprising to me is because she seems to have okay engagement for a page her size. I mean, technically she could be buying likes too, but her posts regularly bring in 30, 40, 50,000 likes, so there's no reason her brand should have flopped like it did if she actually paid attention to what her followers may have wanted. Wale even weighed in on one of the many threads about this on Twitter, saying he understands this exact disappointment when he drops music and his millions of followers aren't actually buying or streaming it. But to me, it makes even more sense for someone to follow a rapper or other creator on Twitter and no one care about their music because it's two completely different mediums. As for Ari, there are several reasons why one could explain how this whole situation went down the way it did. The first and most obvious one is that her clothing line was lazy. When I lived in New York, everyone and their mother wanted to start a clothing line, and when they would attempt to design anything, it would just be the name of that clothing line on a shirt and nothing more, and that's pretty much exactly what this girl did. The brand was called Era, and she picked the most plain font in the world, wrote Era on some sports bras and t-shirts, and tried to sell them to her followers. If she was a Kardashian, this would have worked, but for someone who has no real brand or known personality, and only has followers from posting some selfies online, this clearly wasn't enough to spark some interest. Plus, the outfits she actually wears in her photos are so the complete opposite of the merch she made. A girl following Ari and her little Urban Outfitters vibe is not going to like what she tried selling them, because in the photo of her with the merch on, it doesn't even look like she likes wearing it. Another thing I've seen a lot of people pointing out is that she didn't even promote the brand to begin with. All of these posts have since been deleted, but as you can see pointed out here, there's such a short time span from when she launched the line to the one time she promoted it on her page to her announcing that it was a failure. And I just think that all around, this girl handled her business poorly. She claims in her post about the brand being shut down that she knew she was irrelevant, so selling 36 pieces of clothing would be difficult. So why would she go with a manufacturer that forced her to have that minimum to work with? There are plenty of places like Teespring where if even one customer orders something, they'll print it up. I mean, she could have even gone to a local t-shirt printing shop and gotten it done there. So from that choice alone, I think it's pretty clear that she didn't think this all through and probably should have gotten help from somebody who's actually done this before. Even though this whole launch was quite honestly a major failure for her, she still seems very arrogant and doesn't seem to understand what went wrong here, which is really what rubs a lot of people the wrong way. In her initial post, she talks about her influencer friends not promoting her stuff, even though she promotes their music and other projects. Then, in a separate comment, she fires back at someone questioning the design, saying, "If I see myself as a fashion designer, I am, and explaining that she designed everything herself and has to work her way up to higher end pieces. And there's just something so irritating about someone bragging about being a designer when she literally typed 3 letters and put them on a t-shirt. I think there's an even bigger problem here if she almost has 3 million followers and hasn't been able to monetize that to the point where she had enough money to either hire a designer or finance some pieces up front so she didn't have to rely on 36 people buying her merch. When you go to the brand's Instagram page and website, it says, "We will be back soon," so maybe this whole thing is a publicity stunt for her to launch again in the near future, but I doubt it. Like I said, this girl seems really arrogant about everything surrounding this failure being everyone else's fault but hers, but I do hope that she's taking in some of the advice surrounding her post and not chalking it up to haters online, because I've seen some legitimately helpful advice that she should use if she's going to try this again. Even on Twitter, this girl wrote, "It's not my fault people didn't want to buy. Not everything takes off on the first try." And I think it's pretty clear that this is mostly her fault. So I hope she gets out of that mindset soon. Sure, you can't force people to buy things, but from the looks of it, she didn't really try that hard to get them to in the first place. But honestly, the moral of the story here is not everyone needs a clothing line. She should really just collect her Fashion Nova bag or even find something else that she's actually passionate about that shows in the product. But of course, I want to know what you guys think about this. Were you shocked to see someone with millions of followers unable to sell 40 shirts? And what do you think was the main reason for this? Leave your thoughts down below in the comments, subscribe to the 423 for more videos, and if you like this one, just give it a quick thumbs up. That is it for today. I will see you guys next time. Bye.